Hello, my name is Megan Varner, and I am a health coach and physical therapist who works with individuals with POTS and chronic fatigue, helping them learn how to rebuild their energy so that they can thrive again in their lives. I'm very passionate about working with this population, as I've shared before, because I myself have these conditions, along with a connective tissue disorder called Ehlers-Danlos syndrome that I have been learning to navigate and am now thriving with step by step through rebuilding my energy. So today's topic is how mindfulness can help you manage your POTS symptoms. I'd like to preface what I'm about to share with the fact that this is for informational purposes only, and that before you implement any of these suggestions, please check with your personal care team. If you'd like to learn about working with me one-on-one as part of that personal care team, I'll be sharing more about that towards the end of this video. So first of all, just a quick definition. What is mindfulness all about? Well, mindfulness is paying attention to the present moment without judgment. This can actually be very hard for many individuals, not just those of us that have POTS or chronic fatigue, just based upon the inundation of all of the stimuli that we have around us every day, especially with all of the technology and the things that we have to get accomplished moment to moment. And working in the healthcare field for a while, I was made aware of mindfulness as something to talk to patients about. I did not fully understand or grasp the concept myself very well until I started getting into meditation and did some training over the course of the pandemic when I had to step back for a little while from my own profession and look at managing my own symptoms better, because I was not very mindful of what was going on with my nervous system and how well it was recovering. So that brings up one of the reasons why the topic of this video came about. I talked to quite a few of my clients about self-awareness, to be able to recognize the state that the nervous system is in so that you can identify it and understand what practices to implement to help shift yourself back into a more regulated state. Mindfulness is a great way to connect to what's going on in your mind. Not saying it's all in your mind with symptoms, but your mind or your brain and the thoughts we have do influence what is going on with our nervous system, which directly impacts what is going on with us physically. And mindfulness also helps us recognize these actual physical symptoms that we're having, whether we have an increased heart rate, or we feel hot, or we feel cold, or we feel tired. For many years, personally, I struggled with the concept of mindfulness because I actually had become rather numb to what was going on in my body. And I share this because I've actually encountered quite a few clients, both as a physical therapist and as a coach, that have had this struggle as well, as to get through the day or to be able to cope with our symptoms. We've come to a point of ignoring them or numbing them in some way. And that has some reasons, and you could say benefits in some way, to get yourself through the day. However, in the long run, that can disconnect you from your body. So that's where mindfulness can come in, to tap into what is going on with your body and mind. So it can also be helpful to add to move through the process of acceptance when you're learning how to cope with your symptoms day to day, to be mindful of how you're feeling and to show yourself some form of care or compassion. That actually has a big piece in regulating your nervous system. I've talked about this a little bit before, but our nervous system has a constant surveillance of what's going on around us. And we are trying to do this to survive, and we can shift into different states. And when we get shifted into a state of hypervigilance, in which we're stressed, we have a higher heart rate, we're burning through our energy much faster, that state can cause us to lose track of what's going on around us, and we may not fully recognize what's going on in the body. And taking a moment to step back and notice what's going on and those signals of stress can be very helpful in those times. It's also helpful if you're shifting into more of a shutdown state in which you're feeling overwhelmed by stress and your body is going into more of, I think about it like a hibernation state, where you feel heavy or you feel alone or depressed or hopeless. There's overlaps in both physical and emotional or feelings that we have that can shift us into each of these states. And the flip side is we can implement practices that either come from the body, going kind of bottom up, that affect our nervous system, or top down from the brain, that affect the state of our nervous system. But you got to know where you are, and that's where mindfulness can really come in. You learn how to become more of a neutral observer through the practice of mindfulness on a regular basis of what the sensations that are going on in your body, observer of what's going on around you in your environment. It can also be a trigger for many individuals that have a condition affected by stress, POTS being one of them, but there's definitely plenty of other ones, to be affected by the emotions or the events of others, or the events that are going on in our lives around us, and learning how to be aware of how those affect us and how to shift out of it is key to managing your symptoms with POTS or with others. So the other really cool thing that I will bring up, as the name of my business actually has the term resilience within it, is that mindfulness can help build resilience, or help us be able to bounce back from a challenge or from a stress, so that we are able to adapt to that stress and move forward. So there's a ton of different mindfulness practices out there, but I wanted to guide whoever is watching this video through a couple ones that are my favorites that I have found effective for myself and for clients, to hopefully give you a little bit of a taste of practices that can help you with shifting the state of your nervous system and managing your symptoms a bit better. So, something that I typically turn to, and I've talked about this quite a bit with some of my other videos, is the breath. Being mindful of the breath as you pause just for a few minutes. You don't necessarily have to change the rate of your breathing. You can just be mindful of the sensations of your breath coming in through your nose and either out through your nose or out through your lips that are slightly opened. Is it warm? Is it cool? Where is it going in your chest? Is it going into your belly? Is it fully filling your lungs with air? Is it a little faster or slower? One of my phrases I like to turn to that is actually from a meditation practice is, I breathe in, I know I'm breathing in. I breathe out, I know I'm breathing out. That can do a huge shift in what's going on with your nervous system, whether it's shut down or whether it's overstimulated, to help shift you out of that state. And it's a very simple mindfulness practice of what is going on in your body with your breath, and bringing your mind into what is going on in your body at the same time. There's also some great everyday things you can do to incorporate mindfulness to slow down a little bit if you're at the point in your journey when you're walking, and really think about the sensations in your body from your feet all the way up to your hips, through your spine, all the way up to your neck and your shoulders, to see how you feel as you walk, to see if you're holding tension anywhere, and to see if you're holding your breath, and really tapping into what's particular sensations that you're feeling. This is a great one I like to walk PT clients through, especially as it helps retrain movement patterns and shift away from being in more of a protective mode if there's a history of pain or an injury, into more awareness of what the body can do, and come into a more efficient movement pattern. So, another really great movement practice that I have become a fan of, and I actually teach a weekly mindful motion class. It has a Zoom link. I'll actually put it below this video. If anyone's curious in checking it out one week, you can join from anywhere. Is a yoga and restorative movement blended with the breath. When you blend the breath awareness and the movement awareness, and POTS-friendly yoga poses, also friendly for those with hypermobility or lax joints, you can really tap into this mindfulness practice and understanding what's going on with your body, and really nourish your nervous system and help it learn how to better regulate itself. That's been a super rewarding class to teach, as I benefit from it myself and learn quite a bit from working with those that attend. And I have an awesome co-teacher for that note that is a trauma-informed yoga instructor, and she has some great background in practices to help support the nervous system too. You can also be much more mindful when you're just doing day-to-day activities like brushing your teeth and the sensations that you do, or when you're getting dressed, or mindfulness with showering. I just did a video not that long ago about showering, but really tapping into what's going on with your body in that present moment, and then making that choice to help shift when you recognize where you are with your nervous system. And I will mention at the end of this video, one of my favorite mindfulness practices, that at least I categorize it as, because it really is a mind-body technique that I have come to use with quite a few of my clients, is HRV biofeedback. HRV stands for heart rate variability. I have another video I will link below this one about POTS and HRV as to what insights it can give you. But the combination of HRV, or the variance in time between each consecutive heartbeat that you have, can give you a lot of insight as to what state that your nervous system is in when you are doing a particular practice, like breathing. Notably, there's quite a bit of research supporting that, and one I do quite a bit with clients, and helps you dial down what practices, like what breathing rate, and what other either somatic practices or emotional rewiring that you can do to help shift your nervous system into more of a regenerative state, out of that energy draining either shutdown state or that fight flight state, and can really help, well, I'm a huge fan of it too, tap back into what's going on with your body when you become a bit disconnected or numb over time due to navigating a condition like POTS, and kind of brushing how you're feeling under the rug to be able to get through each day. If you'd like to learn more about HRV biofeedback, or about how mindfulness practices can help you with managing your POTS symptoms, you're welcome to reach out to me at megan.varner@guidetoresilience.com, or I will put a link below the video. You're welcome to sign up for a time to chat on my calendar. I'd be happy to talk to you more. And remember, step by step, you can rebuild your energy. It just takes some guidance, and you can get back to thriving.